Hello everyone, if you're listening to the video right now, the timestamp of when the video starts will be in the comments below as well. But we're just going to wait for some people to come in. Hello, Haydos. How you doing, B-Dog? I can pop this out, can't I? Pop out chat. Here we go. How are you, mate? Did you score? Who are you rage trading at the moment? Can I pin that? There we go. That's a big start. Holy. Hold on, I need to see 1455, Daryl. That's huge, bro. That is huge. I think the big scores are all going to be Sharks related, to be honest. But yeah. That's a massive score, Daryl. I'm sure you're happy with that. Scored 14-17. Oh my God, I'm going to be so unders this week. That is so huge, lads. 12-13, worst scorer, Walsh. Oh no. I had 0 Sharks score. If you had 0 Sharks and scored 14-17, you must have had Latrell, Cody, and something else. And Grant, most probably. But as I say to people, one round doesn't get you in fantasy. You know, Sharks have Penrith next week. For all we know, Nico Hines could get a 50, Trindle could get a 40, and the tables turn again. So don't stress out too much. Your lowest score this week was Moses 40. Are you considering getting rid of Moses now? There would have been a bit of a tough watch. 1455, Nico captain, could have got 1500, but before the round you traded Latrell for Meanie. No, Daryl. All right, so we'll just go through my team quickly. Obviously not a massive week from myself, but I'm still pretty happy with my team. First and foremost, welcome in, guys. Happy first round, completely finished. Now, I know some of you have been here for some of the other wrap-ups that I did individually, right? But I'm going to do a quick run-through of my team, obviously, like, from start to finish and what I'm thinking and who I think we should be looking at trading out. So hopefully that isn't too boring for you guys. But yeah, I do want to do this as a podcast, so I am going to do it that way. And then we'll go through like questions at the end if anyone has questions. So yeah. I'm going to start it off. 1357, no Trail, but had Ramian instead. Ramian's a really nice pod. No way, never trade off 1 week. I captain Haas. If I had VC Ponga, would have been 1,500. Wow. 1283 with Drinky. Yeah, I think there's going to be a 16 to 700 score this week that comes first. I really do, and it's going to be wild. But again, a lot of these people, guys, that have 1,500, 1,600, they surely have some Sharks players. They most probably have Cody Walker, who honestly looked great. We'll get into that as well. But you know, all the players that scored really well, besides like a Karaz, who I just think is personally a must-have primo now after round 2, These guys are capable of going 40 to 50. You know, they just didn't. This was a huge scoring round, by the way. I don't know if there's ever been a round that scored like this before. And if I said out loud to you before the round started that Broncos would be the only team in the first round to not score a point, you'd call me clinically insane. But yeah. All right. Let's get how. Hey, I said Colo, baby. I told you guys Colo would go off. Very happy. I almost captained him too. I was just scared of the rain. The only reason I didn't captain him was because of the rain. That's what scared me. Highest first scoring round ever. Well done, Jimmy. Now remember, you're going to get the ability to have 3 trades this week, lads. I'm also super curious when the game is going to unlock with the new scoring system. I wonder if it's going to unlock tonight. So that'll be interesting. All right. Let's get into it. I'm going to do my intro, you know, my little intro with my league. And then we'll go from there. And yeah, had Drinky VC and Cleary captain. Ooh, yeah, tough. Cleary captain, not so bad. What was it? What was he? A 59 or 60? That's not so bad. Anyway, let's get into it. All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. Sorry, I have not uploaded to Spotify in a bit. We've been doing a bunch of YouTube live stuff. And also, I wanted to do one big round 1 wrap-up video, all in one, so you can hear this in the podcast as well. But we are doing this live as well. Now, again, if you are not part of the Rage Traders 1K League, which closes by round 7, there is only 1,576 total entries. The code is 739499. That is 739499. All you have to do is literally subscribe to the Rage Traders on YouTube, and if you win, $1,000 sent to you. So easy, so free, and with the big starts that people have had, I assume this entry will go up just like other ones as well. All right, let's get into everything. What we're going to do is go through game 1 to last game, basically, which was Dolphins and Rabbitohs. We're going to go through the cheapies that we should and must have, possible sells, people that we think we should definitely sell. And I will interact with chat a bit, don't worry. Like if I think I see something that we can talk about, that'll be good for the podcast as well. We don't want to keep it just like I can't even interact with you guys, so we will do that. But I'm not going to be full deep into it. We're talking about cheapies. I don't want to talk about every single player that's necessary. Maybe you guys can let me know. I think Trey Mooney, 28-18, and the Knights beat the Cowboys. Let's start with Trey Mooney. I think he's close to a must-have. It's very, very close. The only thing that worries me is his minutes. I think he only got about 49, 50 minutes. So that's something we need to monitor as well. Again, I've gone and done several different like wrap-up videos, so we're going to talk about like the cheapies and who's really important now, and we'll actually just quickly we'll talk about my team, so you didn't know, if you didn't know in the podcast audio, a meager 1259 for myself. I can tell you that Brandon Savage from the Supercoach experience had Braden Trindle in his team. He is an absolute insane player. But in saying that, I know my 1259 isn't going to live up to everyone's 1400s, 1500s, 1600s. However, I have so many of the cheapies that people are going to be going for that I actually don't really need to do one trade for a cheapie this week besides maybe Ryan Couchman. So I have a Rama Howe, I have Noah Martin, I have Artuvalu Lasardi, I have Ethan Sanders, I faded Daniel Atkinson, I have Moses Leo, I have Setu 2. I have Tom Chester. So I'm super, super happy with that. I don't have to go out of my way and waste trades for a lot of cheapies. That's really good. And I had Kolonga Matangi, who I think he was absolutely incredible today in the game. He just looked insane. And obviously had some underperforming players in my team that we'll get to in the wrap-up itself. But a 1259, I'm honestly not too mad at that because there were some outrageous scores this week in terms of just NRL scoring. And if you didn't have those players, it was very hard to keep up. But again, I think the talk of the town in the Knights was Kalen Ponga. The way he started, 116 points, looked to be touching the ball, even kicking the ball, just looked to be the coordinator and looked to find or have a really cohesive chemistry with Dylan Brown. I was going to say Lucas for a second. So that was good to see. Again, versing the Cowboys, but you've got to still score points. You've still got to do good. The biggest talking point, I think, for me was just how elite Trey Mooney was. He looked really, really good. He was still offloading. And I just think that's someone you really want in your team. He should make a good amount of cash. And I do think he's someone we're going to trade out here and there. I think that the two front forwards, we're going to need is Haas and Kolomatangi. I really do. I really think at a point in the season, they will be the pairing that you look for, providing an injury doesn't happen, but I can just see that happening. Dominic Young, great in this game, but again, I think also Dylan Lucas is a massive talking point here. Why? Because he really didn't have a huge amount of attacking stats, but still got a 73. That's really good to see. Someone, a cheapie that a lot of people aren't talking about, or sort of a mid-cheapie, $381,400, Phoenix Crossland. I think he had top tackles for the Knights as well. 39 break even and scored a 62, which is absolutely massive. And I say that because of the Brandon Smith sort of thing and also the Reed Marnie. And if you don't want to spend that much cash going up to a Harry Grant from even like a Reed Marnie, or just maybe trying to move on the Brandon Smith sort of like being stuck there, I don't think a lot of people will do this, but I just had to throw him out there because maybe other people have had hooker issues and they're like, what could I possibly do here? Keep your tabs on Crossland, because if he has another great game scoring like a 55 plus, I think he's someone that you could look at going to if you didn't start with a Grant or Brayley or Reed Marnie and maybe you went for a bit of a risk. In saying that, Bradman Best, a 61, scored a try in this game. Very nice to see. Oh, honestly, all the Knights players have pretty good scores here. I'm not going to go into every single one. I think Jermaine McEwen was maybe one of the players that I thought was a bit meh. He started off a bit rough, a bit of knock-ons here and there, and I just think he's someone we don't need to look at, to be honest with you, because we have the Ryan Couchmans. We now have the Noah Martin, who's absolutely been huge in that game against Manly Sea Eagles. So I think you can bank the cash. You can bank the $407,700 and, you know, get to $150,000 in your salary and then use that elsewhere. For the Cowboys, Helam Lukey, really interested to see him against the West Tigers. I think the Tigers will come out firing, and I'll be super surprised if Cowboys win this game. I really will. I think the Cowboys, I've said this before, I'm a Cowboys fan. I think we're going to have a really tough start, and I expect Todd Payton not to be in the coaching team around round 10. I really don't. Chester, wait to be seen. I think the biggest thing is here, I don't know if anyone in the chat knows this, but if Drinkwater's rib cartilage was just minor and he's not going to miss out on time, does anyone know that in the chat? That would be greatly appreciated if you do, because if he's actually out for 1 or 2 rounds, I think Purdue's value goes up insanely, more higher. I guess what I'm trying to say is, he looked great as a fullback. As soon as he slotted into that role when Drinkwater came off, he actually looked like he was just free-flowing, dangerous, really, really good to see. And he actually said in a comment that he used to play fullback, I think in 19s or under 19s. He used to love playing fullback. So now we'll have to wait and see. So you're pretty sure Drinky is playing just a pain management thing. Okay. So either way, when monitoring Purdue, remember I did say if Cody Walker starts off with an absolute bang, then I'm happy to go down from Purdue to Cody Walker. Or if I have a center that's not performing, i.e. maybe KL Iro doesn't have the hot start like he has, I can take out Iro, Purdue drops down, Cody Walker comes in. So this is exactly what we've been looking for in terms of like managing our team, right? So that's completely fine. I don't remember, but Clay O'Donnell, a 26 break even, 252,000, scoring a 47 is nice. But with the 2RS we have, I don't think you can look at that too much. Sam McIntyre, I think he got a try this game as well, 42 break even and scored a 68. I think Dearden looked really, really good under the new scoring system. He looked really, really good in the team. Heel and Lukey looked really, really good as well. And I'm not really looking at anyone else besides that. Now, I think the key thing is Drinkwater a sell now? No, because if he comes up against West Tigers and pops for 110, you're going to be absolutely killing yourself. I think what you do is you just watch Drinkwater against the Tigers. I do think he's going to still play well, and I think he'll get over a 70 or an 80. And I do think that they will have a bounce back game. They won't be as bad, but I do think the West Tigers will win. There's also one thing that could make this really interesting is that apparently Terrell May had gone in for another type of surgery or something, but they say he's going to be fine for next week. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was something super minor. Again, they were like cleaning out something. I can't remember exactly what I saw, but it definitely was he went to get something fixed or something sort of looked at and redone and rehashed. So that's going to be interesting there. If you're a Terrell May owner, just watch out for that, because if he doesn't play, you Scott Drinkwater, staph infection. Sorry. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much for that. Or is it staff? I'm going to say staff. But yeah, that's what it was. And basically, if he doesn't play, I think your Drinkwater prices go up a bit because he's a core of that team in terms of just getting the ball forward. But yeah, I would hold one more week on Drinkwater. I know seeing the 21 there isn't nice. If you did want to go anywhere else, and I know this sounds crazy, I'm not the type of player to do this. You're either looking, I think, at a Ponga or a Turbo. I think Turbo was good and looked healthy as well. But yeah, I think you're holding one more week, to be honest with you. All right. If I've missed anything else, just let me know. Put it in the comments. But let's go to the next game because we want to be kind of not stuck on a game for 20 minutes each. What time does lockout end? It should end once the scores are finalized under the scoring system. All right, Bulldogs Dragons here goes to golden time or extra time. Golden point, I should say. Bulldogs 15, Dragons 14. I think Karaz was by far one of the best players for the Bulldogs, and I'm not just saying that because his score was the top one with 99. It just looked like he was a part of every set. He looked he was offloading, running, spinning, looked really healthy. His injury seemed fine, which is why everyone was sort of fading him. I kind of wish I didn't fade him. But again, he has the bye, which is why I faded him. The way I sort of look at the bye, guys, and I know this may be incorrect. Let's say Kiraz scored 100 instead of 99. The way I see it is whatever his score is, you kind of half it. So if he gets 100, well, technically it's 50 because he's not playing the next game. And can you choose someone that's just going to get more than a 50? That's the way I look at it. Might be a dumb way of looking at it, but he gets a 99. He's huge. If you have him, it's definitely not the wrong move. I just try not to go the buy players early. That's just me. Kickout 98 looked amazing, and Preston. Both those edges looked really, really good. I thought the Galvin combination with Preston looked absolutely unreal. It kind of gave me DCE Olakawatu vibes, and I really, really liked what I saw, but we just need to see a bit more of it. A kick out with a 98, Preston with 97, Galvin with an 81, which was quite impressive. Crichton with the 68. I think this is it's a good sign. Again, I'm not huge on it just because of the buy. Just seen I'm in second on Rage Traders League. Well, got to stay there. You got no Bulldogs. Okay, fair enough. Anyone else here? I think Bailey Haywood was really, really just effective this game, and especially under the scoring. There's some games where he just scores really low points, and that's what I'm scared of, but a 50 from a 35 break even is really nice. I don't know what happened with Curran, but only 11 points. Matty Burton with 45. That's something that you don't want to see. For your draft players, Connor Tracy, 57, pretty good. I think he was just doing what he usually does. Now going to the Dragons, Damian Cook, 105 points, absolutely massive. I think a lot of people, not a lot of people, but the people that went there because of the Little injury, and he looked really good. Sewer 74 is really nice to see. And again, just remember this went to extra time. So some of these numbers are inflated. I think the two biggest must-haves right now, and this is in my opinion, just based off security and like who they are in the team, Ryan Couchman, Noah Martin. Now you might say to me, what about the Melbourne guys? I think the Eels defense was absolutely atrocious. And yes, they can be must-haves, but there's an easy chance Moses Leo can drop like a 30-pointer. There's an easy chance that Joe Chan, can be like a 38, 40-point guy. But with Ryan Couchman and Noah Martin, they're kind of workhorses. And that's why I sort of go with like the flow of saying, I think I like them a bit more because of security reasons. Now, you might say, well, Matty Nicholson's coming back. Well, he re-injured his shoulder, if you didn't know. So the position of Noah Martin just gets solidified even more. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't be looking at getting Moses Leo, Joe Chan, or who's the other one? Atuvalu Lasati. Actually, I also should say Atuvalu Lasati. He's a workhorse as well. He's really good. So maybe they're the three you should look at. But there's so many cheapies we need to get, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see the trades this week of what people do. Yeah, we'll get to KL Ero and Sam Walker in a bit, Hosea, if that's how I say your name, sorry, because that is interesting topics. And I watched most of the games this weekend, so the information I'm giving you, I actually watched like 90% of the games. So I guess I know I can't do that every week, but I really wanted to watch the first week. Hamish Stewart, really good. I'm just a bit worried about the minutes. If that didn't go into extra time, I think that gets comes down a bit. Same with Couchman. I know Couchman's 72. Toby Couchman 72 looks nice, but only 12 points above value in a game that was so grindy and goes extra time. I'm actually a bit worried about him. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Valentine Holmes only a 54. That kind of hurts if you have him. But again, some of the premium CT dubs really didn't perform this week. And it just is what it is. That's just how the cookie crumbled. Daniel Atkinson, 32. I think also Ethan Sanders just looked way better than Atkinson. I know Atkinson was versing the Bulldogs, but just from a point of just attacking the line, goal kicking, where Atkinson is kind of just kicking, and that is more favored in NRL fantasy towards NRL Supercoach. I just think Ethan Sanders looked absolutely amazing and scored a really nice try as well. Nothing else much there, to be honest with you. And that'll be the Bulldogs 15-14. All right. Melbourne Storm 52 to Eels 4. Just a typical round one sort of thrashing from the Melbourne Storm. I was expecting not to see this, to be honest, but if you were watching the game in the first 10 minutes, I swear it just felt like Eels were in to win it. Like there was just something about it and you're like, okay, this is going to be a close game. And all of a sudden, Harry Grant, he splits open the Parramatta defense and boom, the floodgates kind of opened from there. But I think the biggest thing is for the people that didn't start with Far Logo, you kind of got hurt a bit here, to be honest with you. Now, the only thing is if you went to a Ponga and a Turbo instead, you're completely fine. But, $511,700. It was tough to see if you weren't an owner, but again, I think you can kind of like leverage it because there were so many good fullbacks this week. Who would you trade Pezzett to? Well, I was speaking about this with someone, but if Purdue doesn't perform in the next game, the strategy is very, very simple. I'm going to go Purdue out. You can go to Cody Walker. Now, if Purdue does perform well, and let's say he gets an 80-plus score, let's say he looks really good, you can drop a center out that isn't performing. Maybe Kaolero starts really slow after the second game. Then you can bring Purdue down into the centers and just get Cody Walker in that way. That way you still have Purdue. That's the reason why I started with Purdue. But yeah, they would be your two options. But I definitely think from the looks of things, it's going to be Cody Walker unless he gets injured next round or something happens where he does not have a very good game. Remember, also, if you're new to Supercoach, guys, or you're just looking at your trades thinking, how should I do it? Remember that the prices don't change until after round 3. And also, on top of that, the first score that is going to drop out of these players' pricing average is the first score. So these big scores, like let's say Braden Triddle, he goes absolutely massive and then goes a 35, a 40, and a 35. He's going to tank down a bit. So don't overreact, but just understand also how the pricing and everything works. But yeah, again, cheapies wise for Storm, let's get back into this one. Moses Leo looked really good. I've said this before. Someone was going off at me in the comments on the Para Eels, like I was being negative towards the Storm. I'm not being negative, but out of all the defensive teams this week, I think there's 2 teams that just looked absolutely awful. Number 1 was Parramatta. Now, I think Sharks' attack looked better than Melbourne's attack. I think the defense of Parramatta was really, really bad. Like if you rewatch the highlights and you see how Harry Grant scored that first try, it was like Moses split the seas. Iongi ran out from the fullback and there was the most massive gap there ever. And he was like, thank you very much. So I'm not saying what Harry Grant, what he did doesn't require skill. I'm just saying there are going to be a lot tighter games with this Storm team that these new players like Lasardi, Leo, Chan, they're not going to get these scores, guys. I mean, don't go in thinking Melbourne's going to do this every week and score 30 plus points and just absolutely rake in. There's going to be times where they have really tough games and Chan, Leo, Lasardi, they just don't score well. And that's why I say Lasardi I like the most, because he's just a workhorse. He tackles, he takes runs, he's a part of a lot. Now, obviously, he's not on the right edge, but still, he looked very, very good this game and got a try, but still, I think he's the best out of the 3, in my opinion. Munster to get away with an 80. He was very slow at the start, but creeps up with an 80. Really nice to see. Jerome Hughes is a big talking point here because he was such a good facilitator this game, but just didn't get the Supercoach points for it. Only a 66 in a game where you score 52 points. Really, really unfortunate to see for Jerome Hughes owners. You're expecting like an 80, 90 plus there. But if you have him, don't stress. It's still good to have a 66 in your halfback, as I am a Sam Walker owner and I don't see a 6 or anything above next to his name in terms of points. Stefano Oitoi Kamanu, 65. Looked really good this game, to be honest. A lot of people were speaking about him being a bit of a pod play. Looked good. Again, I don't think these numbers will be as good against better teams, but still a 65 is great to see. Will Warbrick, who had one of the biggest, or if not the biggest scoring change difference from the Fox Stats to NRL scoring change. Well, you see this here, a 65 to a 45. Scored the first try for Melbourne. Looked really good. Nick Meaney with a 64, who's a pod I spoke about in my pods before round 1. 64 is nice here, but also doing the goal kicking in a 52-point game. You're not going to see those extra points as much, but still, you'll take that to the bank. I thought someone who people aren't really speaking about a lot, Tui Kamakamika, is that how you pronounce it? How many trades can we make in a week? I'm new. So you'll have 2 confirmed trades that you can do, and then you have what's called a boost. JRS NTV. Now that boost allows you to do 3 trades in a week. Now you only get to boost 5 times in the whole season. So you have to use them wise. Now what most players do is that they will boost early because they want to get players in who are going to be making cash because you have free information and are not getting punished for it. Now I'm not saying you have to do that, but a lot of people will just boost and then maybe boost again and hold off. So it's completely up to you, but you'll get 2 trades. We still get a cap on those trades. So this will all change. Round 1 trades unlimited will obviously change, but you can see here, all you have to do is click this button and activate it. Now, if you click the button and you don't end up using the boost, you won't burn it. Unless they've changed a rule, essentially what happens is it will just autofill back in after the round starts. So don't stress about that either. I'm not sure if anything's changed on that, but yeah. I honestly think let's get back into this game. Yeah, so Kamakamika really impressed what did he get here? He got a, am I blind? 45. Really nice to see. A 45 in a game where they did so much scoring. That's cool. Someone who you could keep on if you don't have a Rama Howe from Gold Coast Titans, who was a popular FRF4. But yeah, someone you can possibly keep tabs on. Also, Alec McDonald came off with a pretty bad concussion, so that sort of brought in people like Cooper Clark and Kamakamika a bit as well. So, well, not really, because he was playing lock, but again, maybe just don't overdo yourself on these Melbourne forwards just as quick. I think the biggest talking point for the Eels, and I know this is crazy to say, but I think Jermaine Hopgood getting a 50 after getting a 30-second sin bin is really, really interesting to look at. I've said this. I've had some people say that they're trading out Hopgood. I think this is really, really silly. If we just go NRL SC draw 2026, I know they have a tough draw, but I think that favors someone like Hopgood. We can see here that the Parramatta Eels have mostly the toughest draw, but they have Broncos away next, which is going to be a really tough game. They have St. George at home into Penrith away, but round 5 it really opens up. West Tigers, Gold Coast, Bulldogs, Manly, New Zealand, North Queensland. I really like that. And I think if he can score what's really should have been a 60 against Melbourne because of the sin bin, I think he's someone you just hold. I mean, unless you're just like, I have to jump on this FRF forward because they look so good, like a Colo or something, I understand. But I still think he's a hold for now, and just give him one more round and hopefully he bounces back even better. And you haven't really lost a lot of like money on him. $517,900 and he still scores a 50. It's fine. It's fine. I think Iongi also looked really, really good this game. Sean Russell in the wing spot getting a try. They just stopped going back to him, but he looked awesome. He's a bit of a pod player I think you can look at. Again, the draw's going to open up for him, and then Addo Carr will come back and he'll go back into the center spot. I think he's one of the top 3 players at the moment for Eels Supercoach-wise, just in terms of he's had a really good preseason. He's been put in the wing spot, which gives him more runs from kicks. But again, from a tough game and getting a 70, that could be something really interesting and really pod-like to do if you want to take a bit of a risk, which is something I'm considering. I think another big talking point is a lot of people are off Pezzett. Jonah Pezzett, only a break-even of 24, 17 points. I think I understand where you're coming from, but just settle down. Like, he's in the role for the first time in Eels, really, and he knows it's his role. I think that they just got absolutely crushed as a team. It wasn't his fault. I thought he looked okay at some moments, and I think when the draw opens up, he's still going to make us money. If I had Moses, would you hold or sell to Sanders now? If I had Moses, would I hold or sell to Sanders? Well, if Moses is your halfback 1, I would be looking at getting more of a premium and maybe trying and finding a way to get to like a Nico Hines. But if Moses is for some reason your halfback 2, then yes, I would consider it. But I'm a fan of just kind of the first round getting these cheapies in that I know I'm going to be fine. Then the second round sort of being like, okay, I know what's going to happen here. There's no way this guy's going to make money. He looks bad. Let's get in someone that makes money. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know if he sits at halfback 1 for you or halfback 2, but don't be too hateful on the score. What did he get? A 40 in a game when they score 4 points. He obviously missed the kick as well. I mean, I think there's upside in him. So that's just my take. Again, their draw is mostly the toughest draw. But yeah. Also, Will Penasini looked pretty good. The right side of the Eels looked really deadly, and I know the score doesn't reflect that, but I think you'll see them go to the right side a lot. Will Penasini looked really, really good this game. So close to scoring a try, so just take it as a grain of salt and go to the next. All right, Warriors Roosters. This is mostly the biggest upset in my opinion in terms of like just scoreline. Like, I'm not saying Warriors shouldn't have won, but I didn't expect them to win 42-18 against the Roosters. Tanner Boyd, absolutely massive this game. Now, I know you're saying, like Ethan Sanders. But, mate, if Tanner Boyd plays exceptional again with the Warriors, he's going to make a ton of cash. 131 points with a break even of 59. I mean, I'm not ballsy enough to go there, but just pay attention to it. Chanel Harris Tavita, 92, which is huge. He had some really cool support plays. Nice try. Tuivasa-Sheck, I think, looked absolutely brilliant this game, guys. The only thing I'm worried about is I kind of feel like Warriors are two different teams. They're at home, they're really good. Away, they can be a bit iffy. That's what I want to see. If we look at the draw here, New Zealand have Canberra next at home, which I think will be quite a high scoring game. But New Zealand actually don't have too bad of a draw. Like Newcastle away, West Tigers at home, Sharks away into Melbourne away will be tough. Then Gold Coast Dolphins para bye. Like, I really like the Warriors draw. You'd move from Moses. That's fair enough. Teddy looked good. We'll buy after the buy. I think in a game like this, Tedesco was everywhere. His age didn't look like it implicated him at any point. He was breaking tackles. He looked super, super dangerous. I think he's going to be a really, really solid pick this season. And if he doesn't get the origin spot, which is high and likely, he's just going to be someone that just can sit there and you'll be confident with him throughout the season. Now, in saying that, they have South next week, which will be that sort of grudge match, and you know that can be quite aggressive at times. Then they have Penrith. I think you can sort of target him after the bye, which is exactly what Philo said, and I think that's good. Even you can wait one more after Sharks away and target him in round 7. Newcastle, St. George, Broncos, Gold Coast, North Queensland. That sounds absolutely juicy to me. So that's something we need to pay attention and look out for. I think the biggest talking point here, guys, is maybe myself and maybe a lot of people, we got baited into the Sam Walker 112 from the preseason, and we just thought that maybe Roosters would be a bit more competitive in this one. Now, if you watch the replay, I think Sam Walker getting a 54 here, it's just really comforting because they played pretty horrible footy. I think just Warriors were better on every stand foot, and in a game where I think I was so curious to see how like the forwards stepped up, like Fisher Harris, Jackson Ford, without the Mitch Barnett situation and sort of him just being injured. I think the Warriors forwards just looked better as well. I'm really surprised Sua Wong is not starting for this team. I think he's an absolute unit. When he came on, he just looked like he was close to breaking tackles. Angus Crichton as well, a 54 with a try. This guy does not look like he wants to be in the team sometimes. A lot of errors, a lot of penalties given away. I'm not trying to hate on the player, but from a super coach point of view, he just looked really, really off. I thought Billy Smith actually looked incredible. And I'm obviously really excited for when Toya comes back from, I think, the foot injury it is. So I have to wait and see. Also, Connor Watson coming on in like the 49th minute. Absolutely ridiculous to me. I don't get why he was only getting barely minutes in a team that has an injury for Reece Robson, who's the main hooker. Like, why wouldn't you just start Connor Watson? I'm really confused by that coaching decision. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but to me, as soon as that game looked like it was swinging out of balance, Connor Watson should have either come on or he should have just started. Yeah, exactly, Philo. Watson getting barely any minutes doesn't make any sense. Blake Steep, bit of a weird one here. He was in the starting team. He got dropped out. Then Spencer Leniu got injured, so Blake Steep came in. I think when Leniu comes back, you're going to see him take a back seat. So if you did start with Blake Steep, he has to be a sell. I just think there's way better 2RFs that we can look at now, like your Noah Martins, your Lasardis, and so on and so forth. Naf White, 53. I've spoken about him before. I just don't think he's a super coach player. He doesn't really have an offload to him, and that hurts his score a bit. Marky Mark was okay. I think sometimes he just tries to be too flashy and does some dumb things and it doesn't work, and that's just part of his game. And then some things he does is amazing. All right, Broncos versus Panthers. Sorry if you're a Broncos fan in here, guys, but this was the biggest statement of the week, in my opinion. Thomas Jenkins, 104. Jeez. That is absolutely huge. Looked really good this game. I think Dill Edwards looked really, really crispy this game, especially with Cleary, when Cleary sort of drags back his points a bit. Jeez, did Edwards look amazing. Yo, 62, that's just sort of exactly what you see from him. I think that price will get inflated a bit when they have a game that isn't so lopsided. So that's going to be sort of interesting to see. Cleary 65 is a bit of a thing that I'm a bit bewildered by. Like, I went to Fox Stats and it still was a similar sort of score, and I thought, oh wow, okay, so he could actually lose a bit of money. I mean, if we look at the Panthers draw, they have Sharks next at home, then Sydney Roosters away, so that's going to be a really interesting thing. And I think you're definitely looking at getting Cleary round 4, if not round 7. He looks absolutely juicy for round 7. Dolphins away, Newcastle away, Manly, Canberra, St. George, bye. So we need to start looking at Cleary soon, I think. But yeah, again, I do think halfback wise, Sam Walker does have the potential to go 100. They just need to find a bit more in their offense, to be honest with you, and he'll be fine. I'm not, like, compared to a Moses, I'd rather have Sam Walker in my team any day of the week. Can someone check for me in the chat? I'm pretty sure this is correct. Isaiah Papali'i, did he actually play 80 minutes? If so, he got a 57. There was, I think Sorensen was on the starting field like on the starting team, and then Papali'i came in. I'm not sure. If someone can confirm with me, that would be great. To'o 38 is so underwhelming in this game. They went left a lot, but To'o to only get 38 is someone who's that actually scares me a bit. I know his base is good and he looks healthy and he looks good, but if they continue to go left to this Jenkins-McLean side, that's really scary. I think more will go to To'o though. So if you do have him, just hold him for one more week. 67 minutes. Okay. So 67 minutes, not the full 80. Again, also on that, I was going to speak about McLean. For McLean to get the first try and only get a 38 in a 26-point win, I'm selling. I'm just like, nah. Not only on top of that, like, okay, I'll speak about this a bit later, but like, people are like, Iro's score was horrible, right? Iro's score was horrible. Fair enough, it wasn't great. But if you watch the Sharks game, they completely dominated the right side. Like, the short ball to Ramian, the short ball to Nikora, going across to Katoa, they just absolutely dominated, and the left side was seeing nothing. But in this game, I mean, the ball is going to McLean's side. So I'm really worried about his score, and there's a part of me that just thinks maybe he's not like super coach friendly compared to like a Kiraz or a Crichton who gets in, takes a lot of hit ups, takes those, I think they call it like a highway set when you just want to get the ball up and play for your next set. And yeah, that's really interesting to me. Unless something happened that I don't know about, maybe someone can let me know. But if he played the full 80 here, which I'm pretty sure he did, 38 points with a 67 break even is not nice. Now for the Broncos, look, there's no doubt it cannot get worse than this, guys. 0 points, Haas getting a 68, Carrigan getting a 52, Reece Walsh getting what, a 30-something, 34, Karapani 35, Shibasaki 26. Like, what you're seeing now is the worst of the worst. Now, remember before how I spoke about the first points of the first points that are going to drop out of your score is the first round. Well, this in turn works out as a favor for the Broncos if they just bounce back and go absolutely massive against the Eels. Then they've got a really nice draw coming up where obviously they've got Melbourne away, but then they've got Dolphins, Gold Coast, North Queensland, West Tigers. If you are a Reece Walsh holder or owner, do not sell. I said this before. If you had Reece Walsh as a player in your team, you did not buy him for the first round. You knew the Panthers was going to be a tough game. Sure, maybe you expected him to get a 40 to 60. It didn't happen. But the real reason why you've brought him in is so you can have him for these periods where I do think the Broncos will score a lot of points against Melbourne. I think they're going to score 18 or more points against Melbourne. I really do. I do think they're going to go for 20 or 30 plus against Dolphins, 20 or 30 plus against Para, 20 or 30 plus against North Queensland, 20 or 30 plus against West Tigers. Like, that's completely fine. Do not get rid of him. So yeah, if you have Drinkwater, I said I think you should hold him for one more round against the West Tigers. But yeah, I don't be too afraid of this with your Brisbane players. Give it one more round. They've got Parramatta. All of a sudden against Parramatta, they score 30, 40 points. And then after that, they verse Melbourne. Maybe they lose to Melbourne. Maybe they win, but they score 20 plus points and the scores are looking good. Then all of a sudden, when they verse the Dolphins, they score 20, 30 points and the Panthers score drops out. So don't hesitate. Don't hesitate and don't over trade. In saying that though, yeah, just really lackluster. Just looked like Penrith did not want to have the start they did last season. Really rough to see. I thought we saw a bit of the old Reece Walsh where he tried to overforce things, but you can't put all the blame on Reece Walsh, guys. You can't. Penrith were the better team. The possession was all theirs and they capitalized with it. I don't think there's anyone else from Penrith I wanted to speak about, unless anyone else did. I regret getting Laban. He looked absolutely awful. Yeah, we'll speak about that. Sharks versus Titans, 50-10. Now, as you can see, the two Sharks I owned were not the top three, and it hurt. Now, one thing I'm glad I did, because it actually would have been annoying, was I had in my trades, Latrell Mitchell dropped out for Jesse Ramian. And after the Sharks game, I was like, there's no way Latrell's getting over 100 points. I've absolutely botched that trade. But in saying that, I'm happy I've done it now. I think the biggest talking point here is just Braden Trindle, Nico Hines combining for 263 Supercoach points. That's absolutely huge, guys. That is absolutely massive. It doesn't get much bigger than that in a round one Supercoach game or round one game relating to Supercoach points. And yeah, look, if you got them both in your team, if you have one of them in your team, you're laughing and you're really happy. Happy with that. How did Brayley not get a try assist or at least a try contribution for one of Trimble's tries? I'm not sure. We need to get clarification. Is Tino a hold? Really good question. Let's get to him after the Sharks game. I thought Billy Burns was really good this game, but just didn't look like that in Supercoach points, but he was really good. AFB looked really, really good in this game as well. There were comments of him basically saying he wants to have a better year and be even better. Katoa 91 is good. I thought they went right a lot and they were favoring the Jesse Ramian Nikra side a lot, but it was sort of split in a sense, but I think that side is just where they love running their line balls and absolutely crashing over the line. Happy I didn't start with Blake Brayley, but obviously a bit unfortunate I didn't start with Harry Grant. But still, if you started with Brayley, hold tight. But maybe in a game where they score 50 to 10 points, you hoped Brayley had a bit more oomph to him in his score. KL Iro. Now, we'll speak about this quickly because I was speaking about McLean. It didn't go his way. They just weren't going left a lot. Like, I watched the whole game and it was just like they didn't need to go left. They were just dominating. Why didn't Jerome Hughes get a try assist for a Howarth try? I actually have no idea, guys. I can't answer it for you. I do apologize. It's just something, maybe guys on the SC playbook will be able to say it. But yeah, I don't know. It sucks, doesn't it? When we get information telling us the last pass will be the try assist and it doesn't happen, it's really annoying. So there has to be some type of clarification from Supercoach on that, from Tom Sangster and the guys there, because it really does matter. Jesse Colquhoun, I'm not sure how to read this because it was such a dominant game where a grinder like him, where someone is just like a Cameron Murray workhorse. Maybe he didn't see a lot. Like, this is what we expected from him, a 44 with a break even of 34. This is what we expected, but I think it could be a bit higher. So I just want to see them one more game. I want to see how he looks next week against the Panthers, where that game is going to be way more of a grind, and see what happens with his score there. If it looks average there, I'll just drop him down to a Ryan Couchman or something and make some money. No stress there. Nobody else here for the Sharks, to be honest with you. Again, I don't think Braden Trindle is a must-have. Is Nico a must-have? It could get to that point if he scores well next game. I think Jesse Ramian could be someone we look at getting in just to give us a bit of cash. That could be interesting. Again, let's go to the Titans here. I think the two best players by far on the Titans were Keanu Kinney and Arama Howe, who played 80 minutes. Arama Howe, who is a $235,600 FRF, 2RF dual position forward that looked absolutely incredible. He was so close to scoring 3 times. He looked really, really good. I don't see him moving from the team. Faymani gets a 54 as well, gets a nice try on the right side, so that's good for people that own him, although it doesn't compare to, you know, the Moses Leos and stuff, but still, I still think you're just sitting with him for a bit and just see what happens in round 2. Thermal 50 should be a bit higher. The biggest talking point here is Tino Fa'amausola'i. 44, had a really big stint off the bench as well, maybe 50 minutes at prop in round 1. That really hurts. But I think maybe he had a bit of time off just because coach knew the game was over. Is he a must sell? Geez, that is a tough question. If he is your FRF2 and you don't have Trey Mooney, I think it's getting close because he's just so much money. He's $687,600. He is just absolutely a chunk of cash. Yeah. And I just think, though, because of the way the game went, the coach maybe pulled the plug and said, look, let's just let Tino rest. We ain't coming back from this. But in saying that, when we have so much value in both FRF and 2RF, is there more value? Like right now, Jermaine Hopgood has way more value than Tino, and Jermaine Hopgood had a sin bin. That's the scariest part. And he's like 70,000 less or 160,000 less. Like that worries you. I think people were sort of thinking, yes, Sharks were going to win, but maybe Titans come out with a bit of defense. The reason I moved off Tino and went Colo was just because of the Jaden Campbell news. As soon as I saw Jaden Campbell wasn't playing, I said this to you guys, I'm going Colo. Like, I can't risk the Titans as a team being the reason Tino doesn't play well. And that's exactly what happened. Now, he might come out and drop a 60-65, but I think his price tag is way overs. Like, you're relying on Tino to be a 70-point forward in a team that is obviously still struggling. It's just ridiculous. He can't do that. It's just, he would have to play at a top tier level with the Titans playing at a top tier level. I just don't see it. I thought Lachlan Ilias was really, really bad this game as well. No hate on him, but just, yeah, didn't kick well, didn't look good. Yeah, a bit of stuff going on there. But again, I thought they just really missed Jaden Campbell. I still think they lose, but I think it's a bit of a game where maybe they score a bit more points. Jaden Campbell has just a really good kicking game. So yeah, it is what it is. 1 round, 1 loss. Let's go to the next one. Is he a must? I don't think he's a must because you have to get so many cheapies in and you're not going to go to a cheapie from Tino. So I think you focus on your cheapies first, then look at like your bigger premiums after that. All right, Sea Eagles Raiders. This was a really fun game to watch. Guess what, guys? I was going to put money on it to be a golden point game, and it was, and I didn't do it, and I'm an idiot because I had a feeling in the wet this would be the close game of the match. I did win money, though. I had Raiders going 1-10, and I had Sea Eagles going 1-10. So, yeah. When's JC back? I think they've said round 3 or round 4. So yeah, he'll be back soon, but I think until then you just wait. And I think Tino, there will be a time you can try and grab him and it'll be fine. Yeah, so Ethan Sanders and Noah Martin are the big talking points here. Looked absolutely incredible. And I think Noah Martin just really stood out this game. He is the biggest player you should be looking for right now, not just because of the score, but because he is the guy that is in the solidified position on the edge on the Raiders. And now Matty Nicholson has been said to have another injury to his shoulder. This guy's a must-have. If you don't have him, get him in your team ASAP. Whether you want to just get him in now, I think it's a plausible decision. If you have Laban, I think the one trade this week you are definitely trying to do is Noah Martin to, Laban to Noah Martin, and I would say that is completely fine. Now, if you want to wait just in case anything happens in terms of like Noel Martin might have an injury and then you've wasted 2 trades, you can do that. But I think you'd never base your trades off injury. You just get him in. He looked absolutely incredible. And exactly as Mr. Moraine, I can't even pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. But as the comment says, an absolute workhorse. And even if you take the 2 tries away, guys, and the line breaks, the score's pretty good. So, yeah, really nice to see. I think Ola Kawatu, I was getting messages. He looked really good. Same as Hudson Young. 85 for Hudson Young. Ola Kawatu was 73. Turbo looked really healthy. Again, the thing with Turbo is, I swear, an injury just comes out of nowhere for him. So that's going to be something we monitor. And the thing is with Turbo, like if someone said to me, who do you think looked better, Ponga or Turbo? For me, it's Ponga, because some of the points Turbo got came off cooler and the line breaks, and he was kind of running a support line, catching up, catching the ball, boom, easy try. You're going to go Tino to Ola. I love that. You go for that, big dog. Nice. And I really, really like the fact that, yeah, Ponga was just a kicking all around it. And when I say kicking, not kicking goals, just constantly being a part of the attack. Really looking good. The attack looks better with Dylan Brown. So I just think Ponga's the guy you get over Turbo out of both of them. But that's just me, my opinion. Horsburgh 75 is huge. Ethan Sanders 94 gets a try, is the goal kicker. Looked really good. If you've got Atkinson, again for me, I'm going Atkinson to Sanders, getting that out of the way and just saying I picked the wrong halfback to start with, and that's it. Again, nothing too crazy else here for the Canberra Raiders. Savage with an 84 is nice though. He's someone you could monitor. I thought Raiders were going to look a bit worse. Again, they are versus Manly, and we know how Manly looked against the South Sydney Rabbitohs, so I just want to be a bit light on this. You swapped Tino right before the game to Ola Kawatu. Wow, that is really nice. Fogarty looked good in this game. Paseka, 63 for an FRF3 that a lot of people have. I think you're absolutely happy with that. But again, this went into extra time. It was wet, so that favors the forwards in a sort of like a meaty, grindy game. Nothing else much here about the Seagulls, to be honest. Garrick 37, really low, only goal kicked once, and I think that's because Jamal Fogarty copped the bump. So I think Garrick is a must sell right now. I really do. It worries me a bit, and I think there's better CTWs. Will Drinks goal kick with needle up rib injury? He should be fine. It's just pain management. You feel like Garrick is irrelevant now? I do too. And yeah, Tarpanay at 42. Does anyone know why Tarpanay got a 42? Was it just one of those games? He looks like a must sell. I think like your Tarpanay Tino to Colo is just something you'd look at doing now. But yeah, that's just me again. And nothing else there from the Seagulls game, but what a game it was, and the young lad getting the field drop goal to win the game. Last game that happened today. If I said to you the highest scoring player for the Dolphins in a 30-point match would be Finafuiaki, you would have spat in my face and said, good luck, champ. Well, guess what it was? 82 Supercoach points for Finafuiaki. Wow. 30 points to 40. The Rabbitohs win. An absolute high-scoring first round. Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, both getting 104. Now, I don't really like talking about like NRL politics, but that David Fafita sin bin was one of the worst sin bins I've ever seen in my life. If I have ever seen a sin bin that should be retracted, it should be that one. That guy, not only at that point, the set before, he absolutely was getting manhandled, getting like the fists in his face, in his throat. He gets the penalty. Then on the next set, they come at him again, 3 people on 1, and then literally he's just standing there trying to defend himself and he gets sent off. That is ridiculous. But he gets 68 points. For those of you that didn't start with him, I would literally be worried because it should be, a 78 plus more because he would have been on the field. So you get very, very lucky there. Cameron Murray, he is a big talking point here, ladies and gentlemen. You thought the minutes would drop off. You thought they'd take time to settle in. Cameron Murray looked very, very good. Yeah, it's I think he's someone that he should be in our 2RF. I think the biggest thing and the biggest misconception I made and a lot of others made was that the South Sydney Rabbitohs were just going to go left, 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 left. And you kind of know with St. George last season when they just kept going to Clint Gutherson every attack and the teams were realizing that and they're like, okay, just look at Gutho, get someone around him and they can't do anything. And then their attack kind of halted. I think Bennett sort of sat back and said, everyone's just going to say from a defensive standpoint of view, okay, we just got to guard well on the left or our right against David Fafita, Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, and Alex Johnston, and there won't be anything to South. Well, I think we're wrong now. Aitken, Jack Wyden, Campbell Graham getting a 73 looked absolutely amazing. They're going right a lot, which is really good to see. And we also have to remember, in this game, Ashton Ward gets injured. It was Ashton Ward, right? Gets injured. And Sullivan came in. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that was right. Yeah, that's right. Jaden Sullivan came in. Ashton Ward got injured. Humphreys isn't there. So they had a switch up in that and still looked pretty good. So that's really, really good to see. Colo looked absolutely incredible. I'm really annoyed I didn't captain him because that's what I wanted to do and I didn't do it. 77 though, you'll absolutely love to see that from a 68 break even. I think, as I said before, the FRF 2RF, you want to be aiming to have like, I think it honestly has to be Haas, Colo, Trey Mooney, and then once Trey Mooney sort of gets to a break even or just like a point where maybe he's only getting 50s, I kind of feel like Trey Mooney is going to be the Corey Horsburgh when Corey Horsburgh was really low and everyone started with him and you bank your cash there. But I'm really, really liking this Colo Haas combo that I've got with Trey Mooney. It just feels really, really good at the moment. Aitken looked really good, as everyone was saying. 59 points though for a 56 break even. You'll take that, but I think there's way more value in 2RF, to be honest with you. Jai Gray, for how he played this game and what he was involved in, a 54 is really, really worrying. I'll be honest with you guys. I thought he'd be way higher in the points. He's not. Tallis Duncan, I don't know exactly how many minutes this guy got, but I swear to you, if it's under 50 and he's got this type of score, I'm going to lose my mind. Let's have a look here. Player stats. Sorry for the audio listens, but I really have to know. Audio listeners, I really have to know. He played, where does it say minutes? He played 60 minutes. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. 60 minutes for 49 points. Okay, I thought he played less, so that's fine. Maybe someone we don't look at. Johnston with a try, but again, don't overly look at him. Latrell Mitchell looked amazing. Cody Walker, have to say it. I'll bite the bullet when I'm wrong. So far, I'm definitely wrong on the Cody Walker play. When I did the podcast with Tim Williams from SC Playbook, I'm like, I just can't go there. I'm so scared. But damn, am I eating my words at the moment? And I'll eat it because one thing I say is when I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. But when I'm right, I'll tell you I told you so. But let's go to the Dolphins. So Finafuiaki, 82, Farnworth, 75. I mean, you'll live with that. He got the easiest try ever. And I don't even think it was a try, guys. I'll be honest with you. He did extend the arm. He pushed the player out of the way, in my opinion. And then the ball just sat there on the line and he just literally put his hand on it. So I'll live with that. A 75. Thank you. Come again. Doesn't mean he's someone we might not look at trading out. I'll be honest with you. He could be someone that we might have to look at trading out. But from a 75, exactly. And let's talk about the South's draw as well. So Souths don't have the easiest draw. They also have a bye. So they have Sydney Roosters next week away. And then they have West Tigers at home into a bye, into Bulldogs, into Canberra. I mean, again, let's remember that the first score drops out the quickest. So that could be something that really, really hurts you. But I mean, Cody Walker getting 100 plus in the first round. You absolutely love that. Nothing much here. We're talking about the Dolphins. Herbie 75. Asako, if you started with Asako, 77 is nice. Lemulelu, someone who I actually spoke about as a bit of a pod. You like a 75 for him. Hammer, only a 67. I don't think he's someone we talk about in Supercoach. I really don't. I've never been a fan. Cobo gets a 54 with a 54 break even. Take that as you will. He got the try assist, I think, for the Herbie Farnworth grubber that he did. Wait, did Flegler end up with 48 points? Interesting. So there's a big Flegler-Paseka debate. At the moment, Paseka's winning, but 48, I didn't expect him to get that when I looked at his score. So that's going to be interesting. Gilbert with only a 26. Katoa 59, you'll live with that. I think in 30 points, though, it kind of scares you. And that's it. That is the wrap-up, lads. Trey Fuller, I swear, if I am another team going... Like, if I'm another team and I'm like, we could need a fullback, and I'm doing anything to get Trey Fuller. That guy is just a beast. That guy is a beast. Farnworth is a gun. He'll get his average. Exactly right. And that's what he did here. He gets his try. He gets away. Look, he might lose a bit of money. We'll evaluate it. But I think there's going to be some absolutely massive scores this week. I think first place is going to breach 1,600 points. I really do. Lads, that is your round one wrap up. Thank you so much for being here, all 100-ish of you. I really, really do appreciate the support. If you could kindly like, subscribe the video. Knowles makes money. Oh, let's just quickly look at that. Sorry, have I missed? Didn't he? Oh, he was close to scoring. Game day. Okay, Morgan Knowles, 58 from a 41 break even. Interesting. The only thing is, guys, is when you see Knowles, 58 points in a 40 whatever break even, and you go, let's look at the other two RFs that have done well this week. It's just, there's just so much better, right? There really is. But yeah, anyway, that's it, guys. So what's going to happen from here, especially for the audio listeners as well, just so you know, I'm going to do a live team list recording. That'll be put up and scheduled for you guys to see. Make sure you join that 4 p.m. Tuesday. Then I'll have one video towards the end of the week before the first game where I go through my trades, my captaincy, and just who I think are a general must-haves, even though we've gone through that here. And then that is it. Then you're done and dusted. Obviously, the biggest talking point will be the team list, and then we'll go from there, and round two is underway. I hope you have enjoyed this little wrap-up, lads. If I've missed anything, surely no trades this week? Oh, definitely trades this week. What do you mean? What do you mean? For me, my trades will be... absolutely nothing. You're right. You're absolutely nothing. You've caught me out. The only thing I'm really contemplating trading, and I'll be honest with you guys, is this. Jesse Colhoun to like a Ryan Couchman or something like that. That's the only thing. I think Colhoun is good. I think because of what's happened in the two RFs, I'm really interested. But yeah, likely to wait. I have so many of the cheapies already that I don't really need to trade. And honestly, there's a part of me that wants to get money for Harry Grant from Brandon Smith. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, Lukey looks very good as well. He does. Anyway, guys, that is it. Thanks for listening, everyone, on the audio podcast. 5-star review, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys here. Like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube video. That is it. That is your round one wrap up. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for supporting. Join the Rage Traders League, and we'll talk about maybe must sells, must have in the video upcoming next week after the team list. And let's get into it. Don't overtrade. Stay steady. Reece Walsh will be okay.